Welcome back to Movies Are So Back, the YouTube movie review channel where I, Ethan Simmie, ask the question, are movies so back? Severance continues and pushes on and pushes forward to greatness? Pushes forward to the elite echelon of prestige TV? Maybe. I don't know. Let's talk about it. I missed a week of doing Severance reviews because Lumen and life and things, and I'm back now and I'm going to do a double review, but we're going to keep it pretty high level. We're going to keep it pretty light because they were two very important episodes to Severance, to the narrative of Severance, to the show as a whole, and I have thoughts about them, but I'm just going to touch on a few things here and there in both episode 7 and 8. That way we can prepare for episode 9 and the season finale that's coming in just a couple of weeks, episode 10. So let's talk about episode 7 and episode 8 of Severance season 2. Episode 7, titled Chikai Bardo. Big deal, big episode. It's a big episode, people. Not only is it a big episode because of what it told us, what it explored narratively regarding Mark and Gemma's relationship and the 5 years that we spend with them in one single episode, understanding more about Gemma and Lumen and the kind of Severance trial floor that's happening and all of those things. But I think it's a big deal of an episode because of what it represents for the show as a whole, for the creative team behind the show, for Ben Stiller and everybody else that is putting in work on this show on a weekly basis. I think it is a big deal for Jessica Lagagne, the cinematographer turned director. This is her directorial debut, and holy shit. Oh my God, this episode looks incredible. It looks beautiful, gorgeous, astounding to watch. The whole episode is kind of this stylized La La Land-esque montage that we get. Saddest part of La La Land, by the way, just in case you needed to know that. But it is this idea that we understand the relationship of Mark and Gemma through this flashback, these continual flashbacks to very important moments in their life. I liked this episode. I liked this episode a lot. I don't think I liked it as much as a lot of other people are saying. People are like out here crying about, like let Gemma free of Lumen. I'm not there. I'm not there emotionally, but I thought it was an incredibly effective and successful episode on lots of different fronts. So I have a few things that I want to briefly talk about, and then we'll do episode 8. Love the look and peek that we get at the corporate side of Lumen here in this episode. Of course, that juxtaposes the kind of internal side that we get of Gemma, and specifically following her through all of these Lumen Severance tests, if you will, if that is what they end up being. Most notably, I wanted to call out that the kind of the desks, the 4 desks that we get of the people that are watching video and watching Gemma, and that taking place is obviously meant to represent and visually invoke the MDR department. And the people looked like the MDR department. I just want to put that out there. I just thought that was interesting. A nice little visual note, cue, whatever it may be, this idea, 2 sides of the same coin. Lumen is just trying to be the same, up and down, whether it's corporate side or employee side. I found that fascinating. The episode is titled Chikai Bardo, which is in relationship to the cards that Gemma mentions and is filling out for Lumen. Most notably, those cards found in season 1 of Severance. So that is the card that Dylan sneaks away and hides and later has to find and give up. I thought that was notable. I think that's an important thing, a man fighting his own ego. Very thematically prevalent for this episode and this series. And I just really think that the overall thematic arc of this episode, this representation of this endless loop of depression and sadness and having to go through that again and again and again and again, like Gemma does with the severed floor that she's on, the testing that she does, and the exploration of all of those things that Lumen is specifically doing with Gemma, I thought was pretty astounding stuff. I thought it was really thematically resonant, impressively displayed. The most visually astounding episode of Severance by far, again, like shout out to Jessica Lagagne, the cinematographer of the series, her directorial debut on this episode. Congratulations, incredible stuff. I thought episode 7, really good. Really, really, really good episode. But, did episode 7 answer enough questions? Did it answer enough questions? I don't know, guys. I'm worried. I know I've been saying this week after week after week, but we're not getting questions answered that I feel like we need answered. And I know we got some questions answered and we explored this very thematically rich background with Mark and Gemma and their relationship, but did it answer enough questions? I don't think so. And that leads me to episode 8, another episode that tried to answer some questions, tried to answer some really big questions, but did it answer enough questions? Because We only have 2 episodes of this season of Severance left. 2 episodes. And there are like 100 questions that I have about things still that have been teased, that have not been revealed or navigated or answered. And I am worried. Episode 8, titled Sweet Vitriol, I think is very much in conversation with episode 7 and what those episodes are doing, exploring these deep personal connections and relationships that people have and how Lumen changes those relationships. Now, a lot of people saying episode 8, not good, not as good as the show has been. And I will say it is definitely on the lower end, I think quality-wise, of the season. I think it's a really strange choice to pair these 2 episodes back to back. I feel like episode 8 would have been more fitted to be like an episode 4 or an episode 5. And I just feel like we've been away from Miss Cobell for 6 episodes now, and now we're just revisiting her. I think that's too long. I think we waited too long to do this whole Miss Cobell thing and to reinvestigate these ideas and explore her as a person and start to have empathy and sympathy and feel for her and understand what Lumen has done for her, just the same way that we understand what Lumen has done for Gemma. Like, I think it was a weird choice to put these 2 episodes together. But again, I do think they're very much in conversation with each other, which I guess I could see the creative team thinking, let's pair these together, literally put them together. We have a longer episode, a more cinematic episode. We'll go shorter episode. We'll do some personal exploration. Things can kind of bounce back and forth. So while I'm not as down on episode 8 as a lot of people seem to be, I do think it is among more of like, I guess, the weaker episodes of Severance, but I think there's a lot of important things at play. Still a beautiful episode. Shout out Jessica Lagana again. Well done. They went to Newfoundland to shoot this episode, and they did an incredible job. I think the exploration of Miss Cobell and the trauma that has incurred on her life, and essentially how Lumen came into her town, her space, and gutted the place and used not only natural resources, as in water, which they are after, but the people. They used them as resources, and when they were done, they dried up and they left and they got out of town, and of course have left an abandoned, cold, frail town in which pretty much everybody's a druggie, and it's just a bad situation all the way around. I think it's interesting that Miss Cobell went there to kind of find solace with, saying goodbye to her mother. Of course, she went there with ulterior motives to find... Big reveal. If you haven't seen it, don't go forward, but big reveal to find her original drawings of her severance procedure. So it is revealed Ms. Cobell is the official inventor of Severance, the Severance procedure, the science behind the Severance procedure, and she kept them in notebooks in a basement. Again, we're revisiting basements, which I think is a great kind of visual and thematic callback that we keep getting. Everything is about what's below the surface, and she finds these notebooks, almost gets them thrown in the fire. Bad idea to give them to Sissy, very bad idea, but she saves them, and now she is on the way to visit Mark and Devin to support them. Something I said would happen at the end of episode 2. I said, hey, they're going to team up. Things are going to get good. And look where we are now. Not to toot my own horn. It's probably the only prediction I've ever got right in my life. But this is where we are headed. And we're headed for kind of a team up for the last couple of episodes here. So episode 8, I thought was good, not great. I thought there were some really weird moments. And I thought it was a great kind of pacial slowdown for what we have come to expect of this series. Important episode, good episode, just not quite on the level of other episodes. Let's do the winners and the losers of episode 7 and 8. I'm going to combine them because I'm making one video here. So we're going to have a winner for episode 7 and 8 and a loser for episode 7 and 8. Now, the last time we did this, the winner of episode 6 was in fact love. It was love. We had just investigated Mark and Helly's relationship, Dylan and his wife, and things were cool for Bert and Irv. So it was love. The winner of this episode, Look, I hate to do the drinking game thing, take a shot every time I say this, but it's Jessica Lagana, cinematographer turned director, 2 gorgeously astounding episodes back to back. Incredible stuff. You deserve a win. I'm going to send you a real trophy. I promise. The loser of episodes 7 and 8. Now, last week, episode 6, it was Mr. Milchek having a tough go, a hard time just putting paper clips on papers, trying to teach himself the Lumen ways. This week, for episode 7 and 8, the loser is the pace of the show. It is the pace of the show. I think we took a significant slowdown to let off a little bit more steam than we needed, and I don't know if that was the right creative decision and right creative choice. 2 very good episodes, but an interesting choice that I don't think ultimately worked for the series. Predictions for the next episode, next couple of episodes, I don't know. I have no idea. I think this season is going to end on a massive cliffhanger that it has to happen. And I think that at some level it might be Mark and Gemma like realizing, but no more than that. I think we have to have a massive narrative cliffhanger to drive us forward to season 3. I do just want to say one more time, I guessed correctly, guys. I got it right. End of episode 2, I said that Miss Cobell and Mark are going to team up, and bam! They're teaming up. Look at us now. Who would have thought? So is TV so back? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to keep the train moving forward here. I will say the last few episodes, the last few reviews have driven the price of TV is so back just through the roof. We've reached prestige levels of television. I don't think we did that for episode 7 or 8. And I know that might come across a little bit rude. A lot of people really high on 7. I'm not as high. A lot of people low on episode 8. I'm a little bit higher on episode 8. But TV is still so back. We have 2 weeks to go until the season of Severance is over, which is really, really sad. I don't really want to think about that. But yeah, TV is so back. What did you think of the episodes 7 and 8 of Severance? What are your predictions for episodes 9 and 10? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, hit the bell so you are notified every single time that I drop a new review of Severance or any other TV show or movie here on the channel. I have lots of fun things coming up and planned that I don't want you to miss. You can also follow me on Letterboxd for any of my movie musings and thoughts and ideas over there, and I'll see you in the next video.